Putin and China are not bluffing, and what just happened is officially war against the United States dollar and the reserve currency of the world. Make no mistake, this isn't Russia like wagging its finger warning the United States, like don't do this. No, that ship has sailed. Warnings are over. We are officially at war, and the biggest blow to the US dollar just happened. So I'm going to get into the very latest big economic news in a moment, which is devastating. But first, let's focus on the military piece of this, because at the very moment that a jury in New York was reading a guilty verdict for President Trump on Thursday night, the Biden administration very quietly and simultaneously launched hundreds of miles away in Washington, D.C., gave Ukraine authorization to start attacking Russia inside of Russia using American-made weapons. In other words, a hot war with Russia is happening, folks. We need to wake up right now. Think it was coincidental, by the way, that at the very same moment, all of the major news networks were focused on Trump's verdict. The Biden administration, led by Antony Blinken, delivered the good news to Zelensky. Start attacking Russia inside of Russia. Absolute madness. This is how they will control all of us. This is how they will remain in power. Keep us in our homes. Force us to send in mail-in ballots. Remember how that went last time? Don't go outside because Russia might attack us. They've been itching for a war with Russia for decades, and now they have it. Friend of the show, Tucker Carlson, warned us about this right after he was fired from Fox News last year.
So once you start indicting your political opponents, you know that you have to win or else they're going to indict you if they win, right?
Right.
And so they can't lose. They will do anything to win. So how do they do that? They're not going to do COVID again. I know everyone on the right's afraid they're going to do COVID and mask mandate. They're not going to do that. They can't do that. If they've already been exposed, that won't work. There's going to be, no, what are they going to do? They're going to go to war with Russia is what they're going to do. There will be a hot war between the United States and Russia in the next year. And
really?
Yes, of course. They want it anyway.
You know, at the time I was like, okay, is that really true what Tucker just said? Well, now we know for sure, and Putin knows it. He's not an idiot. Last week, he said NATO is playing a very dangerous game, and we are prepared for it.
Представители стран НАТО, особенно в Европе, особенно в малых странах, они должны вообще отдавать себе отчет.
Late last week, Russia attacked a NATO staging base in western Ukraine, killing over 300 people. The Western media was totally silent about it, but then it started to trickle out. Yeah, NATO forces from Poland, France, the Balkan countries, maybe even U.S. forces there, destroyed. Underground bunker system, destroyed. Russia also blew up a number of brand new F-16s that we delivered to this base. This is game on. But that's just the physical, kinetic war. What about the economic war, the war against the US dollar? That part is arguably worse for the United States. And it just took a dark turn. Last week, Putin fired a shot heard around the world against the US dollar. It was so big, in fact, that even the usually quiet mainstream media, the corporate media, decided to actually cover the story. Putin signs decree to allow retaliatory seizure of US assets in Russia. Now, this decree is a direct response to the Western sanctions imposed after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The United States and its allies froze around $300 billion of Russian financial assets. And then about a week ago, President Biden approved giving those billions to the Ukrainians. This has never happened before. This was the final straw for Russia. They are done playing games with the US dollar. It is over. So Putin fired back, signed a new decree enabling Russia to confiscate all US-owned real estate, stocks, US currency, and on and on and on. Economists I've spoken to have said people have no idea how big a deal this is, because the US dollar is the reserve currency of the world, and you don't attack the reserve currency unless you're done with it. I mean, finished with it. You've burned your bridges. You better have a backup plan, and that's exactly what they have with China and other BRICS nations. In fact, Team Biden brought this on Russia before the war in Ukraine even started. Back in 2021, Russia already started a mass exodus from the US dollar. Take a look at these headlines. As the brilliant Professor Mearsheimer points out, Biden has only drawn Russia and China closer together, virtually eliminating the need for the US dollar.
But when you see this meeting taking place in Beijing between Putin and Xi Jinping, it makes it manifestly clear that they have become close allies and they're going to work together to thwart the United States at every turn. They've issued this large communique that makes it clear that they are determined to work together to undermine the United States' efforts to hurt them.
And they're turning back to gold and commodities in a big way to back their currency and their partnership. According to a new report from U.S. News and World Report, the U.S. dollar now accounts for only 58% of foreign exchange reserves held by overseas central banks. That's a huge drop and a brand new record low, by the way. Do you think it's going to go up? I don't. It's only going down. Gold, the most ancient and widely accepted international currency, has chipped away at some of the dollar's dominance, according to this new report, accounting for 15% of reserves. That's up from 11% just 6 years ago. And of course, it's more than just the currency as the issue here. It's the SWIFT system, which is how all US dollar transactions are carried out. Russia and China, though, have declared war on that part too. So it's not just the US dollar. They're saying your entire system is corrupt. We don't want to have anything about it. We don't want to be involved in it anymore. They're really ready to roll out their own version of SWIFT that uses a blockchain-based payment system. According to the Kremlin, it's known as the BRICS Bridge Multi-Sided Payment Platform, and it would connect member countries' financial systems using payment gateways for settlements in central bank digital currencies. In other words, BRICS currencies backed by gold and commodities. In other words, goodbye US dollar. We're done with you. We are at a pivotal moment right now for gold.